Welcome to the Project Planning Blueprint, a practical guide for turning strategy into delivery. In this overview, we'll move through the life cycle from initiation and planning to execution, monitoring and closure, while keeping scope, time, cost, and quality in balance. The visual flow and Gantt cues on screen show how phases connect and where decisions are made. This page highlights 4 core planning principles. Involve cross-functional contributors early. Refine estimates through iterative learning. Balance optimism with contingency reserves. And document assumptions to stay adaptive. The icons and diagrams illustrate how collaboration, progressive elaboration, and risk-aware thinking feed a plan that can evolve without losing strategic alignment. Scope definition starts with capturing and tracing stakeholder needs into a requirements matrix, then decomposing work into a clear work breakdown structure. The diagram shows deliverables split by phase and work packages, while the right panel reminds us to lock included scope, clearly define exclusions, and agree acceptance criteria to avoid surprises at handover. Embedding change control from day one keeps projects aligned to strategy. Publish a clear vision. Require written change requests with impact analysis, and time-box high-risk features to protect schedule. Educating the team on the triple constraint helps prioritize trade-offs, while incremental decisions, funding and scheduling, preserve governance as the project evolves. Developing the schedule means sequencing work packages, estimating durations using 3-point and analogous techniques, and running a critical path and buffer analysis to find zero-float activities. The flow from network diagram to baseline produces an ambitious yet achievable schedule, giving a clear path for resource planning and milestone tracking shown on the accompanying charts. Resource management translates the schedule into actionable capacity plans by mapping skill types over time and spotting bottlenecks in a histogram. Resolve overallocations through leveling or parallel streams, pre-book scarce equipment and vendors, and formalize commitments with service-level agreements so availability is locked in and project throughput stays realistic. A practical risk framework starts with workshops to identify threats and opportunities, scores each risk by probability and impact, and assigns owners. From there, craft responses, avoid, transfer, mitigate or accept, and integrate contingency reserves with trigger conditions. The goal is to manage risks as pre-planned events so they don't derail budget, schedule, or scope. Quality planning aligns standards with customer requirements and sets measurable acceptance criteria. Integrate verification and validation activities into the schedule. Authorize a quality lead to halt work for early intervention, and track metrics that shift focus toward prevention. The life cycle from prevention to assurance and control reduces rework and delivers cost savings. Budgeting begins with bottom-up work package estimates, layers contingency for known risks, and management reserves for unknowns, then forms a time-phased cost baseline to show planned monthly spend. Secure funding and approvals early, so cash flow never forces shortcuts, and use the baseline to monitor spend against the plan throughout execution. Procurement planning frames make or buy choices, drafts detailed statements of work with objective acceptance criteria, and selects contracts that balance risk and incentive. Integrate vendor milestones into the master schedule, lock commitments with key suppliers, and flag external dependencies early so vendor timelines align with internal delivery expectations and reduce downstream surprises. Integrated project management consolidates scope, schedule, cost, quality, risk, and procurement baselines into a single management plan. The diagram shows cross-reference validation and an internal consistency check before stakeholder sign-off. Once approved, the performance measurement baseline enables earned value reporting and clear deviation tracking to guide corrective action. Effective governance relies on a steady control cadence, weekly status reviews to update task progress, reforecast completion and cost, and process approved changes through version control. Communicate revised trajectories to stakeholders so the plan remains a living guide, not a shelf item, and ensure the team adjusts measures quickly when reality shifts.